What's up, you guys? I thought this would be another fun idea for a video. Whenever new fights get announced or I'm doing card reviews and it's a known fighter, I always think about, okay, what is this fighter most known for doing in their fights? Do they either knock people out? Do they get submissions? Do they win decisions? Or are they just straight up probably going to lose? So today, through a tier list, I have pretty much all of the ranked contenders in the UFC right now throughout all the different weight classes. I'm going to put them through this tier list of what I believe that they are most likely to do in their fights. Granted, they do win. And if they are more likely to lose than win, I will put them in the straight up loses column. The first fighter that we're going to talk about is going to be Mauricio Hufi. Seems like an easy pick for knockout, but one thing that is kind of strange is that, now we'll put him in knockout. If he didn't do what he did to Bobby Green, if he didn't do what he did to King Green, we would put him in decision just because the long top fight, I wasn't very impressed by that. And the fact that he didn't get Jamie Mullarkey out of there by walk-off knockout. He finally got it, though, so we put him in the knockout column. I will stop sleeping on that boy. I don't know who this is. This is a flyweight or something. I don't know who this is. Put him in straight up loses. This guy's probably a dog, and I just don't know who he is. Damn it. The next guy, Francis Ngannou, easy knockout. If Francis Ngannou's fighting, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, he knocks the guy out. Gene Silva, too, easy knockout column. This is the easiest stuff here. If I'm making predictions for easy the three fighters who are already in the knockout column, yeah, knockout. There's a large array of different ways that a Hamzat fight can end, but more than likely over anything is submission. He's choked out a lot of people, and he will choke out more of them. His last win was by submission. Hopefully he doesn't choke out Dricus du Plessis. I was talking about it with my friend today, though. He's going to totally try to sub Dricus in 1 minute. And if he speedruns Dricus, that will completely break my head in half. So hopefully we don't live in the timeline where that happens, because DDP is my boy. You guys know. So the next guy that we're going to talk about, Israel Adesanya, straight up loses. I was going to put him in decision, but no. In 2025, straight up loses. And he said that he told Eugene Behrman that he's looking for a fight as of recently. And that, let's see how this one goes. I don't think very well. Arnold Allen, if he wins, it's probably going to be by decision. Even though we all want to see him get knockouts. If you're not named Dan Hooker, he's probably not going to knock you out. Beat up Giga Chikadze to a quarter inch of his life. Still no finish in that one, so got to put him in decision. Brendan Allen. Submission, decision. He beat Anthony Hernandez, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Anthony Hernandez they both lost. They both lost. I want to put him decision if he does win, because I feel like he's on fighting just middle of the road contenders now. He probably wins those fights by decision, just through grappling. Maladinho, Jailton Almeida, decision. He doesn't straight up lose, but decision. Well, actually, let's see. Hold on. Almeida versus Spivak. Oh, he knocked his ass out. Yeah, decision. Alright, so Magomed Ankalaev, decisionator. It's the reason why we don't like him. Kai Asakura, he's finishing these fights by knockout, but he might low-key just straight up lose. We'll give it one more fight, but he might be in the straight up loses column moving forward. Tom Aspinall, a knockout is pretty probable in the fights that he's in. Ignacio Bahamunda, same thing with him, a knockout. You're probably going to expect that someone's going to sleep. Jan Blachowicz, in important fights, straight up loses. We can go and check the track record. Glover Teixeira, Alex Pereira. The only real W that he got that was nice was over the guy who's to the left of him whenever he challenged that year. Otherwise, Jan Blachowicz is just kind of losing. Carlos Ulberg even just recently beat up Jan Blachowicz, which is a tough break. Curtis Blades, straight up loses. No. He's going to fight that Rizvan Kuniev guy. And in that fight, I'm expecting him to probably win by knockout. Important fights, he straight up loses, though, which sucks. So yeah, Curtis Blades, if it's a high-profile fight where it's him versus another guy, I was really surprised that he finished Maladinho in that fight with that uppercut. That was a really nice Curtis Blades performance. But he challenged for the belt against Tom Aspinall, the interim title, and he got humiliated in that fight. So straight up loses, man. Kyle Borrello, decisions, but honestly knockouts. Fighting nerds have got it on lock right now. I was hesitant to believe in the hype, but it's definitely there, and there's a reason for it. So Kyle Braulio goes in knockout. That boy Sean Brady by submission or decision. Submission is more likely with how aggressive he is with his grappling game. He's a great submission artist, the best one in welterweight probably. But I'm not sure how he measures up to other grapplers with larger frames than him because he's not a very large person. But submissions are definitely probable in Sean Brady matchups. Knockouts and Joaquin Buckley matchups are also very probable. So we will put him in the knockout column. Gilbert Burns straight up loses. They're just feeding him to young contenders in 2025. That's what's going down. Jared Cannonier, decision victory. He won a decision against Gregory Rodriguez, and that was a big accomplishment for him at 40 years old. He can win a decision against a few other guys too. So we put him in the decision column. Henry Cejudo straight up loses. Michael Chandler straight up loses. Paulo Costa straight up loses. Colby Covington straight up loses. Benil Dariush straight up loses. Jack Della Maddalena knockout. Rainer de Ritter submission. Dricus du Plessis whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. Knockout. He has some really nice knockouts in the UFC. Against, what is the guy's name? Trevin Giles. Oh my god, such a beautiful clip. Merab decision. Leon Edwards straight up loses. It's crazy how things have changed in just such little time. Josh Emmett straight up loses all important fights. Movsar Evloev decision. Davison Figueiredo straight up loses low key. Rafael Fiziev straight up loses. Important matchups, he low key just straight up loses. Gaethje decision. He wins a lot of decisions for as violent and as powerful as he is. Mateusz Gamrot decision. He's a split decision merchant. Everyone knows this. Cyril Gane decision. Shamil Gaziev. He knocked out Thomas Peterson in his last fight, but that's Thomas Peterson. So I will say decision is most likely for Shamil Gaziev matchup. Bobby Green straight up loses. Sucks. You're my boy, Bobby, but fuck. And whenever I'm making those predictions, that's what I'm thinking in my head. It sucks. Anthony Hernandez, I would say he wins a decision out of a most likely outcome event. Jamal Hill. I want to see him beat Khalil Roundtree, but he low-key straight up loses. Kevin Holland straight up loses. Max Holloway, decision. Dan Hooker, decision. Nasruddin Imavov, normally decision, but low-key knockout. He has some really stiff punches on him. And I'm not just saying that because he knocked out Israel Adesanya. This guy has good power. John Jones, submission. A heavyweight, honestly, he's a very versatile fighter. He could do it all. But I don't think he'll be going to many decisions, if any, at heavyweight. So here, let me move myself down now. Perfect. Manel Cap, decision. He's been winning a lot of decisions lately, even getting knockouts lately. Honestly, TKOs. TKOs, knockouts. Kai Kara France wins decisions quite often against his opponents. Unless your name is Steve Erceg, then he's putting you 6 feet. Derek Lewis, the knockout king. He has it tattooed on his chest. Diego Lopez, knockout fighter. It's crazy that he didn't knock out Volk. He has lethal nuclear power in his hands. Ian Garry, decision. Shara Bullet, straight up loses. I feel like they're going to keep him at the point of fighting the Petrosians of the division because they know at the level at which his grappling is, he will get exposed by anyone who's better than Petrosian. But at the threshold of the skill level of a fighter like Armin Petrosian, he can do things like double spinning knockouts and bring more fans to the sport. So that's why they'll keep him at around that level of matchmaking. Islam Makhachev, submission. He likes to choke people. He's been doing that a lot lately. Bryce Mitchell, straight up loses. I feel like this may mark the downturn of his career, that Josh Emmett knockout. He did come back against Kron Gracie, but again, it's Kron Gracie. So we have to hold our horses on loading up the hype train for Bryce Mitchell. And this is me talking to myself from 2 weeks ago whenever I was all in on it. So Renato Moicano, decision. Brandon Moreno, decision. Flyweight fighters, most of the time it's by decision. Bilal Muhammad, decision. Knockout. Imagine. Umar wins fights by decision. Charles Oliveira is a knockout artist, but he's the submission guy, so submission is the most likely outcome of one of his fights where he wins. Sean O'Malley, knockout. Brian Ortega, submission. Michael Venom Page, decision. He wins a lot of decisions. So I would say that he wins a decision at 185 if he fights another named contender. Pantoja wins decisions most of the time, but he's a flyweight, so you expect that. Sergey Pavlovich straight up loses in 2025, which is a tough break. Alex Pereira, juicy knockouts. We love it, but I'm not sure if we'll get to see it again. Paddy Pimblett, submission. Dustin Poirier, knockout. Carlos Prates, knockout. Yuri Prochazka, knockout. Shavkat Rakhmonov, decisionator. I'm going to hate on him because it's been some time and I'm ready to do it again. Is this Roman Dolidze? Who is this? Is this Roman Dolidze? He changes his hair too much. If this is Roman Dolidze, I don't recognize him. And if it is, decision. Yair Rodriguez wins fights by decision whenever he does, but low-key, straight up loses. Khalil Roundtree, knockout. Just because of Anthony Smith, literally. I'm letting recency bias affect me so much by placing him there. This is definitely deliberate because I'm putting Jamal Hill in straight up loses and Khalil Roundtree in knockout. So that's my reasoning for that. Brandon Royval wins decisions. Jairzinho Rosenstruck, I'm about to cry looking at this photo, man. This list was made before he got cut. He straight up loses whenever it comes to the UFC, and it ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. He's in the same boat as Benoit Saint-Denis, at least, who's likely going to lose a fight whenever he is match made, and I'm doing predictions for a card. I'm going to be making sure that the guy that Benoit Saint-Denis is fighting isn't someone who can knock him out, because if that is the case, then that's probably what's going to happen. Corey Sandhagen wins decisions, but I could put him in straight up loses with maybe one more loss. Aljamain Sterling, decision. Sean Strickland, decision. Tatsuro Taira, submission. Ilia Topuria, knockout. Arman Tsarukyan, decision. But he does have knockout power too. But most of the time I'm expecting him to win a decision because he's fighting an equal or also high-level grappler, and they're just likely going to stalemate. Taito Ivasa, straight up loses. I don't even know why he's here. Carlos Ulberg, knockout, 34. Usman, straight up loses in 2025. I don't want to see him return. Joshua Van, knockout. I'm always rooting for a Joshua Van knockout. That's why he's such an interesting contender, is because he knocks people out. That boy Chito Vera, straight up loses. Marvin Vettori, straight up loses. Volkanovski, decision. Alexander Volkov, decision. Johnny Walker, straight up loses. Robert Whittaker, decision. Just because he has so many. Song Yadong, he can win a fight by decision. Decision. Yeah, that Ricky Simone win actually is aging like fine wine, so we'll place him in decision. Peter Yan, decision. So this is the general lay of the land. There's an extra inclusion of Davison Figueiredo here, so I guess we'll put him in straight up loses. But this is pretty much the lay of the land. Whenever a named contender on this list is match made in a fight or a numbered card and I'm going through my picks, this is what I'm thinking in my head. This is my internal dialogue. These people will knock their opponents out. These people will submit their opponents. These people will win decisions over their opponents. And these people will straight up lose. And the bottom two columns are very full. So let's make note of this, that there's a lot of decision fighters in the UFC. And there's also a lot of named prospects that are just around so that they can not win. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this video up until this point. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys will have a wonderful day. I will catch you in the next one.